Same grandmother,
That
right?
really is. Oh my.
Half months later, under a completely different username, we have this post. Am I the butthole for removing my son from my will after our relationship ended? I really don't think that I'm wrong, but I just need reassurance that I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely the same person. I'm a 50-year-old woman, and I have a son, David, who's 30, who's married to B, who's in her 20s. They have a daughter who's 4 months old, and my son has a daughter from a previous relationship who's 10. B and I had a falling out after their baby was born, and my son and granddaughters got caught in the crossfire. The falling out happened in March, and I know that I did and said things that I wasn't proud of, and although she hasn't What? Although she hasn't apologized? For a second there, I thought that I'd misread. I thought that she said, although I've apologized, but then I did a double take. It would be too long to go over the history. But at the most extreme point, I did consult a lawyer for grandparent rights. Blah, 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 more recap. Okay, for Mother's Day, my daughter decided to take me out to dinner, and she begged David to come along and bring the baby. David eventually did agree since it was Mother's Day, so he, the baby, and B came. B was quiet for most of the dinner, but she did talk to my daughter a few times. I guess they have a pretty good relationship. B held the baby the entire time and wouldn't let me hold the baby or take any pictures. Part of the falling out was over pictures in Facebook, so I found this to be petty. Okay. Overall, I would have called dinner a success. At the end, I hugged my son and told him that I was proud of him for putting his foot down and coming to dinner with his daughter, and that I hoped that he would continue to do that. Looking back, I know that I shouldn't have said anything. My son called me later that night and told me that he couldn't continue to have a relationship with me. He said that B was their child's mother and that he wouldn't ever bring the baby anywhere without her blessing. I was drunk when he called because I had a hard time coping, and I admit that I lost it a little bit on the phone call and told him that it was despicable that he couldn't man up to his wife, and that he should have come to see me on Mother's Day because I'm his mother, and he ended up hanging up on me. Yo, every paragraph, this story gets crazier and crazier, you guys. I called the next day and was profusely apologizing to him. I know that it was wrong of me to have said what I did, and I told him that I want a relationship with him. He told me that he couldn't do this with me anymore. I've been heartbroken ever since, but I understand, I guess. I called him last night and told him that I wouldn't be contacting him or his wife anymore ever, and that I respected that we wouldn't have a relationship. I also let him know that I'd be removing him as my power of attorney and taking him out of my will so that he never had to be bothered with anything from me ever again. I don't have much to give him anyways. He got mad at me and called me a sorry excuse of a mother, and now my daughter is saying that I'm manipulative. I really don't understand how I was wrong in giving him what he wants.
If this lady don't shut up, oh my gosh, go
Typing.
away, go away. And she could even change this. She couldn't change the names. She couldn't change the ages.
No. That's not true, Tracy. That's the issue. Is she does keep changing her name.
She
And people,
changes
She
her
changed her
name, but she never
username.
changes
oh
anybody
yeah, she never
else's.
changes the name of the people in it, which is
Yeah,
why people be catching
she
her
kept
like,
the ages
this
the
is the
same.
same
She
Still
kept the
woman.
her.
names the
Yep.
same. I'm like,
Okay, this
This
oh my
person is
among
god,
the
not very brave.
other atrocities that this woman has done.
she is meant. Oh my goodness, I don't want to say mental
This is
because that's
one of those
disrespectful.
people who
Sophie.
are a chronic apologist, and that's just a word I made up. Is people who do, yeah, I made it up. Is people who just do
No, you didn't.
things that just constantly. Oh, I didn't make that up.
No, I've heard chronic apologists before.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I'm smart. There are people who constantly do some of who does shitty things. Sorry, I couldn't think of a better word. Who does shitty things
Mhm.
because they figure they could just apologize and then do it again, or do something different that's just as bad and apologize, and do something bad and apologize, and do something else and apologize, and do something else and apologize. They do that because
Not
they hold
gonna
on to
apologize.
the whole concept of saying, "But I apologize to you."
Here's my light.
The
My
dog's in the
dog.
light.
I'm
So
sorry. My dog is right in.
dog in the light. So it's people like who likes to do that. They're not going to change how they are. They just figure that they can I'm sorry out of their way out of every issue. And they will
It's
hold
not a
on to the fact
real
that
apology. It
it's
is
not. It's not.
no taking responsibility.
It's the equivalent of I'm sorry that you took it the way took what I said the way you said it. I'm sorry you felt that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If I said something to offend you, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
You already know you offended.
I'm sorry that I offended you. I'm sorry that you took it wrong. It's people.
I mean, I feel sorry for this grandmother. I'm gonna say it. She keeps digging herself
in a hole.
deeper and deeper in the hole. And
now she's alienated 2 of her children, her grandchildren, and her daughter-in-law. Lady, you winning. I mean, if this isn't winning, I don't know what is. I mean, you've alienated everybody. You may know she's not the worst person you've had on so far, but boy, she's making a real good case. She's making a really good case.
I wouldn't doubt it that she would be worried every moment that baby was out of her own hands.
I called him again to tell him I wouldn't call him deaf, dumb, and blind.
Come on now.
Can we say attention seeking?
Yes,
no, there's something deeper with this lady.
I would not call her attention seeking. I call her a very entitled
she's
woman.
beyond entitled.
Like, this is a highly entitled. Everything that she does is for her benefit, and she sees nothing wrong to other people that she affects because it's benefiting her. It's people. I'm not lying to you. It is people out there who feels that you should be happy, privileged, whatever, that you're helping them. Yep. It's people like that. It's people who really just feel I know. No, I'm not even gonna say that because that's a freaking bold-faced lie. It's hurting you. It shouldn't hurt you because what I'm doing, underline, is benefiting me. Is for your best interest. So if they have that mentality, they're not going to change because you are always wrong. I'm always right. And what I'm doing is benefiting everybody. So why are you so mad? And no matter how many times you say it's not benefiting us, you are hurting us physically and mentally. You're in the way. You're getting on our nerves. They don't see that. And this woman has said time after time after time, after spelling out what she's done in the past, always the sentence ends with the same thing. I don't feel I did anything wrong. She just said it on this one. I took him out of the wheel and he's mad at me. I'm just giving him what he wanted. She don't see anything that she's doing that's wrong. She really
does. Okay, it's going to sound like I'm taking up for the mother-in-law, and I'm really not. But if he says, I don't want anything to do with you, why would he still think he would be in the will if he's not wanting anything to do with her?
I don't think he was upset about not being in the will. I think the thought that you thought that you bringing up the will
was going to somehow, okay, because I'm like,
was going to somehow change how I feel. It was a manipulative move. You're trying to manipulate me, and that pisses me off that you're trying to manipulate me.
That's and then she hit never say, I don't have much to leave him, and yet you're hiring attorneys. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I am, and I'm probably gonna be that's probably gonna be a good project to take. But what I'm ready to confirm her opinion is we LL. It doesn't take but a few of them to say you're right. It don't have to be a majority. Trust me, people that does these things, they don't need a majority. They don't need a majority. Trust me on this. They just need a few people to go, I see your point.
But no, well, if I'm going to take my problems to someone, well, of course, I know ultimately who to go to. But if I'm just going to take my problems to anybody besides God, I'm a therapist, my friends and family, somebody that I have a rapport of trust with. Reddit probably not going to be the place that I go. Just
Tracy,
me.
this woman right now has
me.
shown. This woman right now have shown that she would have several therapists because she wants the one that's going to agree with her.
True. She needs something because I came to diagnose this one.
Some people think that the unbiased, you have nothing to do with me, you don't know us, but I'm just going to give you all my side, and it's.
And that's how we've had an issue with that on this show too. Diaz has brought it up plenty of times that we're saying, yeah, but you have to keep in mind that we're taking it from the point of view of the OP.
The story is usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Except with this lady.
I wish this were real or not, because I'd be like,
she's admitting her own fault.
No, but she keeps saying, I don't see where I've done anything wrong. So she really isn't admitting her own fault. She's saying what she did was perfectly okay.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but she is describing what she is doing, and for the four of us, we count them as fault.
And you have to keep something.
I mean, for the most part. I mean, not the.
I have to keep this in mind on a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Once you show your character on a consistent basis, what's that old saying? Once somebody show you who they really are, believe it.
No, once they tell you who they are, believe them.
Once they tell you who you are, believe it.
Yeah, Maya Angelou.
And this is one of those things where it's like, we can't always sit there and go, yeah, but it could have been, but but we don't know. But it's like, it's a real strong evidence.
Like if we knew this, if I knew somebody like this in real life, I'm like, lady, stop. You're wrong.
They can't do it.
You are wrong.
They can't do it.
That
wouldn't stop me from telling them.
I don't know.
The one thing I would say, because I just ain't got much for this, but and this isn't to excuse the mother. I don't know, man. I just can't be the grandmother. The grandmother. I don't feel bad for the grandmother per se. I'm just not. I can't be as strident as like as some of what you guys are saying comes across to me as. Like, to me, this sounds like she probably was never a very good mother. She's not one who has been well socially adjusted, right? So, like, I don't know. She doesn't come across as having ill intent. She comes across as being undisciplined and emotionally driven, right? Like something happens, she reacts. Something happens, she reacts. She doesn't process it on a level of maturity. She's very immature because maturity has nothing to do with your age.
No.
Right. So to me, she comes across as very immature. So the whole thing with I'm taking him out of my will, that comes from she doesn't have much. The only thing she does have is that. She has 2 points of things left to her. Her power of attorney and her will. Right? So she's it's more of a value statement than anything else. You don't want me. I feel like you've thrown me away. I don't matter to you. You still matter to me, but I'm going to let you go because that's what you want. But I really don't want to let you go, right? I don't know about y'all, but have you ever been around people that's what they're doing? I mean, it's almost like how children act sometimes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I can see where the grandmother's coming from throughout this entire saga. And
it's just a little
while
extreme.
you don't owe her anything as far as like there's rights and there's wrongs, and then there's all this stuff that's in between. So you don't owe her to forgive her for anything. You don't owe her to make allowances for her immaturity. You don't owe her to work around some of her eccentric things. You don't owe her any of that. But as an individual, as her son, as part of the family unit, what is best for you holistically? And I feel like that gets missed. It's like it just ends up coming across as we're just looking at another train wreck. This is a maladjusted family doing maladjusted things, and it's just a shame that this is where it's gonna head. Because I've seen families go through things like this, and they end up they're just a mess for years, and then someone passes away, and now people want to try to figure it out. Or someone gets really sick, and now people want to try to figure it out.